What would you do if your wife looked you dead in the eyes and said, "I could replace you in 24 hours"? Would you get angry? Would you argue? Would you walk away? Most men would react. Most men would let their ego take over. Most men would say something they'd regret for the rest of their lives, but I didn't. And what I did instead, it didn't just save my marriage, it completely transformed it. My name doesn't matter. What matters is that 3 years ago I was standing in my kitchen, hearing those exact words from the woman I loved. And today I'm going to tell you exactly what happened and why my response changed everything. If you're a man who's ever felt unappreciated, taken for granted, or like you're just not enough no matter what you do, stay until the end, because this story might just change your life too. Let me take you back to that night. It was a Thursday. I remember because I had just come home from a 12-hour shift at work. I was exhausted. My back hurt. All I wanted was to eat something, maybe watch some TV, and go to sleep. But the moment I walked through that door, I could feel it. A tension in the air. You know what I'm talking about, right? That heavy silence that tells you something is wrong before anyone even says a word. My wife was standing by the kitchen counter, arms crossed, face tight. I asked her what was wrong, and she said, "Nothing." Now every married man knows that nothing is never nothing, so I pushed a little. I asked again, and that's when she let it out. She told me I was never present, that I came home every day and just existed, that I didn't help with the kids, that I didn't notice when she was struggling, that I didn't make her feel loved anymore. I tried to defend myself. I told her I was working hard for this family. I told her I was tired. I told her she didn't understand the pressure I was under, and that's when she said it. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "I could replace you in 24 hours. Now, I want you to really understand what those words did to me. My chest tightened, my jaw clenched. I felt this rage building up inside me, this defensive fire that wanted to explode. My first instinct was to yell, to tell her how ungrateful she was, to remind her of everything I sacrificed, to list every single thing I had done for this family. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the look in her eyes. Maybe it was the way her voice cracked when she said it. Maybe it was the fact that deep down, a part of me knew she wasn't trying to hurt me. She was trying to wake me up. So instead of reacting, I did something I had never done before in an argument. I stayed silent. I took a deep breath. And I said 5 words that changed the entire direction of our conversation. I said, "Tell me more, I'm listening." Those 5 words broke something open. My wife stared at me like she didn't believe what she was hearing. She was ready for a fight. She was ready for me to defend myself, to dismiss her feelings, to make her feel like she was overreacting. But I didn't. And because I didn't, she finally felt safe enough to tell me the truth. She told me that she felt alone in our marriage, that she felt like a single mother, even though I was physically there. That she missed the man she fell in love with, the man who used to look at her like she was the only woman in the world. She told me that the comment about replacing me, it wasn't about another man. It was about how disconnected I had become, how easy it would be to find someone who actually showed up, emotionally, mentally, physically. And as I listened, really listened, I realized something that hit me like a punch to the gut. She was right. I had been so focused on providing that I forgot to be present. I had been so busy being the breadwinner that I forgot to be the husband. I had been so caught up in my own exhaustion that I stopped seeing hers. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going to argue my way out of this. I wasn't going to make promises I wouldn't keep. I was going to change. Not for her, not to prove a point, but because I finally understood what I had been missing. I started small. The next morning, I woke up 30 minutes earlier. Not to work, not to check my phone, but to make her coffee, to sit with her before the chaos of the day began, to ask her how she was, and actually wait for the answer. I started putting my phone down when I came home. I started playing with my kids instead of just being in the same room as them. I started noticing when my wife looked tired and doing something about it without being asked. I started saying I love you again, not out of habit, but because I meant it. And slowly, things began to change. The tension in our house started to lift. My wife started smiling more. My kids started running to the door when I came home instead of barely looking up. And my wife? She started looking at me the way she used to, like I was her person, like I was irreplaceable. Here's what I learned from that experience, and I want you to really hear this. Your wife doesn't want perfection. She wants presence. She doesn't need you to have all the answers. She needs you to be in the room, mentally, emotionally, fully. She doesn't need you to solve every problem. She needs you to hold her hand while she figures it out. She doesn't need grand gestures. She needs consistent small acts of love that show her she matters. When my wife said she could replace me in 24 hours, she wasn't threatening me. She was telling me the truth about how disconnected I had become. She was holding up a mirror and showing me the man I had turned into. And I had two choices. I could break the mirror, get angry, blame her, walk away. Or I could look at my reflection, accept what I saw, and decide to become someone better. I chose the second option, and it saved my marriage. So here's my question for you. If your partner said they could replace you in 24 hours, would they be wrong? I'm not asking to make you feel bad. I'm asking because sometimes we need to hear the hard truth before we can change. Are you present? Are you showing up? Are you the partner you promised to be? If you're not sure, that's okay. Awareness is the first step. But don't wait for a wake-up call like I did. Don't wait until the person you love is standing in front of you, telling you they feel alone. Start today. Start now. Put your phone down. Look at your partner. Ask them how they're doing. And actually listen, because the difference between being replaceable and being irreplaceable, it's not about what you provide. It's about how you show up. And showing up, that's a choice you can make right now. If this video meant something to you, leave a comment. Tell me your story. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we're going to keep having these conversations. Until next time, be present, be intentional, be irreplaceable.